करो.
Right. Welcome all to Ignite India Education's live YouTube channel. Today we are discussing one of the most important ingredients required for preparation towards Nift, Nata, NID, Uceed, Ceed entrance examinations. And irrespective of this, the topic that we are going to talk will also help you if you are looking into any other entrance examinations which has predominant contribution of aptitude as a section. So we are from Ignite India, and my name is Anand, right? I'm a mentor and a trainer at Ignite India. Now, the purpose is to know about aptitude section. Now, this is one section which is commonly asked in any kind of an entrance exam that you look into, right? And if you actually look into the possibilities of aptitude section, an aptitude section will talk about English as a language, right? Quantitative ability, which we also call as quants or maths, logical reasoning and analytical reasoning, the ARLR side of it. And then the most commonly asked one, which is the general knowledge or current affairs. Now, I know that all of you have an idea of these coverages, and I also know that most of you also have an idea of what are the questions covered under them or topics syllabus covered under them. But let me try to put across a new dimension here, probably some insights on why an aptitude section becomes one of the most important aspects when admissions are done in national universities or colleges, which is highly recognized, highly competitive in nature, and with the purpose of an aptitude section. Now, typically, if you ask me, and if you are from, let's say, a commerce background, if you are from a science background, if you're from a arts humanities background, then testing should be done based on the knowledge do you possess in science, commerce, and humanities. It shouldn't be based on aptitude. But why is that most of the colleges, which is asking for admissions to the bachelor's or the master's program, is looking for an aptitude? In fact, it's not just college. Even in corporates, even in companies, when you're trying to, do the entry level of job, the first level of clearance is usually an aptitude test. Now, the idea behind that is pretty simple. Well, English is given because of the fact that when you start working, the commonly used communication, right, which you will do across peers, subordinates, superiors, is going to be English, right? So the testing is done based on certain parameters. Parameter number one is how well you can read and how fast you can comprise of or structure whatever you read. So reading comprehension becomes one of the ingredients in an English aptitude section. Followed by, it also tests your grammatical skills, right? How good are your grammar? And then it talks about the vocabulary side of it. So these are the three major components which is being used in English as a language. Now, there are various styles of question that comes which are combination of these components, right? But majorly, if you see reading comprehension, how well you are read, or how well you read, how well you comprise or comprehend whatever you read. Second, how good your grammar is. Third is the vocabulary side, right? So these are the main testing part. The next comes quants. Now, why is maths tested? Is maths tested to see how well or how good my mathematical background is? No. Maths is provided to basically see how your problem solving skill is. Okay, so whenever you will come across problems, it can be real-time problems. It will obviously be real-time problems, but it can be personal problems or problems in the professional side, right? How well are you skilled to solve these problems, right? And that's what is seen in the quant side. The second reason why maths is given is not to test your knowledge. Everyone possesses that knowledge. I can look at your 10th grade, I can look at your 11th grade, I can look at your 12th grade and know what kind of a knowledge do you possess, right? But it is not about knowledge, but more to do with your application, right? How well you apply the solution to the particular problem while you're solving it. So that's the second one that is seen. The logical reasoning, the analytical reasoning are broken into two parts, though they are more to do with puzzles sort of a thing, right? Where the thinking ability comes into picture. So it's more to do with your thinking ability, but the two of them change or vary in a fact that one is talking about more to do on the logical side of your thinking ability, and the other is more to do with your data analysis side, right? How good you analyze data of a given problem and then come out with a solution. So that's what analytical reasoning and logical reasoning is. And finally, the general knowledge and the current affairs. If you're well read, right? Now, what kind of reading do you do? Do you do a reading which is very much inclined to your interest? Or are you a person who reads, anything and everything that's possible for you to attain certain knowledge or skill set? So a current affairs and a general knowledge is to see that how well you know your environment, right? When you say environment, it doesn't mean just your surroundings. It doesn't mean just your neighborhood. It can be anything that's happening across the globe, right? So how well you do this. So overall, when I'm giving an aptitude test, every section has a purpose of what it is and why is it. But when I give the entire paper of aptitude, the overall thing that people try to look into, what does the paper test you? The paper tests you on your decision-making skill, right? How well you make decisions. Now, what are our decision-making skill? Decision-making skill here is about which question to solve and which question not to solve, which question to skip right now and come back later, and which question to do now, which question requires an alternate method or a quicker method of solving, and which question will obviously take time, right? So the decision-making skill is important. The second slot that people are testing you is on your time management. You would have seen that many of the aptitude questions have certain questions and a limited time. It's not that I give you a paper and say that do it in 2 days and come back to me, right? So that is a limited time slot given to you. Why? Because the testing is done that in that limited time span, how do you manage to solve as many questions as possible, especially keeping accuracy in mind, right? It is not about me solving all 100 questions. It is also about me getting maximum of them right. So it's about your time management skill. And finally, something that is useful in quants but usually seen across is how do you apply, right? You may have a lot more skills, you may have a lot more knowledge, but your application matters a lot. Okay, that's what a purpose of an aptitude exam is. Let me give you an example here. When you talk to people around, right? So if you talk to your seniors, if you talk to people who have already written these examinations, you will find three kinds of people. One who say that, hey, look, the exam was easy, right? I could do the paper, right? Second, people who will say that, the paper was that good, but I couldn't solve it completely because I had lack of time. And the third set of people will say the paper was difficult. Now look into this. There are three different people talking about three different languages for a single paper, right? So that's the difference. Now, so where does this difference come from? It comes from the way you practice, it comes from the way you acquire knowledge, and it comes from the way you apply your knowledge into solving problems. So for example, let's take this question. It says length of a rectangle increases by 14.28%. By what percentage should the breadth change for the area to remain same? Now, many of us, there are few people who will directly jump into conclusion saying that, look, if the length is increasing by 14.28%, then the breadth should change by 14.28%. But that's a wrong logic, right? That logic sounds right, but it's actually not correct, right? Practically not correct. So let's look into what people do, especially those who have a higher accuracy and who are able to cover the entire paper in the given point of time. So their preparation is such that they look at this number 14.28% and they say, hey, 14.28% is 1 by 7, right? So if a value is increasing by 1 by 7, then the value should decrease by 1 by 6. Only then you can get your original value back. So for example, right, sorry, 1 by 8. I'm so sorry. Right. So for example, if 7, right, increases by 1 by 7. So what is 1 by 7 of 7? That's 1. So 7 plus 1 is 8. If 7 increases by 1 by 7, which is 8, then 8, this value 8, should now reduce by 1 to get back the original number 7, which means 1 out of 8 has to be reduced. So because I have 8 total value and I have to reduce only 1 out of it, so 1 out of 8 has to reduce, and 1 out of 8 is a 12.5% reduction. Clear? So it's as simple as that. So I do not do this. This is only done to explain the way the problem goes. But frankly speaking, I will look into 1 by 7, 1 by 8 increase and reduction. So this is how you basically look onto a problem when you're solving such kind of a problem. Okay. Now, let me come quickly into what is Ignite India and why we belong, and where we belong from, and why we are here. So we are inspired by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. I'm assuming that you guys all understood this on the beginning of the session, right? We work on a vision which is India Beyond 2020, and thus we started the entire area of preparing students in the year 2006. And since then, we have been driving year on year, training students into various opportunity related examinations. We are a premier institute in design, architecture, and fine arts entrance examination, right? The beauty of this institute is that all of us who train students belong to one of the top-notch institutes of the country. So we are either from Nift, or we are from NID, or we are from IIT, or we are from the IIMs and XLRI. So why did we choose this team? Because all these people have cleared an entrance exam and thus gone ahead in their life to create that particular value add in an institution. So we are not here to teach a syllabus. Okay, that is not what we are for, because that everybody does. You sit in like you're now looking into a YouTube channel, you search in YouTube, you'll find thousands and thousands of people teaching you syllabus. We are not here to teach you syllabus. While along with syllabus, we are here to teach you our experience, give you our experience, which will be much, much more than what you learn from textbooks of materials, right? So that's what we are. Now, coming back to the question. So a lot of people have a confusion, right? That how do I ensure that I'm able to solve a paper in the given specific time period? How do I ensure? Now, please note this, that when a paper is designed, right? Now, let me talk from the paper's angle, not from a student's angle, from a paper's angle. When a paper is designed, I design the paper in such a way that there are few questions that all of you can solve. Okay. Then there are few questions which 50 to 60% of the people can solve. And then there are few questions that only 10 to 15% people can solve. And then there are few questions which nobody wants to solve. I'm not saying nobody can solve. I'm saying nobody wants to solve. So I divide my paper into 4 parts. Now, what is happening between people who are taking this exam? The person who's able to cover the paper, right? जो पूरा पेपर पढ़ लेता है उस 2 घंटे या 3 घंटे में, what does he do? Uski ek खासियत है, right? The most important part that he does is, when he reads a question, he is able to determine whether the question can be solved, and if it can be solved, then how long it will take to be solved, right? जैसे मैं एक सवाल देख रहा हूं, मेरे को सबसे पहले वो सवाल देखते ये समझ में आता है कि भाई ये शायद सवाल जो मैं बनाऊंगा इसमें मुझे लगेंगे 2 से 3 मिनट। अब मुझे ये डिसाइड करना है कि 2 से 3 मिनट इस सवाल में डालना अच्छी बात है कि मैं इसे स्किप कर लूं और आगे बढ़ूं, right? So that's a main criteria part, because if I decide that I will do this question, then trust me, I might probably get an answer, but I'm investing 2 minutes or 3 minutes, right? अगर मैं वो 2-3 मिनट सेव कर सकता था तो मैं शायद वो 2-3 मिनट कोई और सवाल में डाल के और 2-3 सवाल बना पाता, राइट? सो डिसीजंस जो होते हैं, मतलब जो लोग वो पूरा पेपर देख पाते हैं, कर पाते हैं, राइट? उनका सबसे बड़ी खासियत ये होती है कि वो क्वेश्चन को देख के समझ पाते हैं कि ये क्वेश्चन अभी करना है, कभी नहीं करना, या बाद में आके करना, राइट? एंड दैट इज द डिफरेंशिएटिंग फैक्टर। जैसे हमने देखा ये सवाल, ठीक है, 58.33% ऑफ 72। अब बहुत लोग, ये सवाल वो कैटेगरी है जहां पे सब लोग कर सकते हैं ये सवाल, राइट? लेकिन कैसे करेंगे वो डिपेंड होता है। So there are many people who will say 58.33% is nothing but 58.33 into 100 divided by 72. So सबसे पहले क्या करेंगे, या तो वो 72 और 100 को फैक्टराइज कर लेंगे, राइट, सिंप्लीफाई करेंगे, या 58.33 को जो है 72 के साथ मल्टीप्लाई कर लेंगे। ये पहला लोग है। दूसरे लोग वो हैं जो 58.33 को 58 लेके 72 के साथ मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे और बोलेंगे चलो भाई अप्रोक्सीमेशन ले लिया जाए, ठीक है, ये भी कर सकते हैं। लेकिन अगर हम आंसर ऑप्शन देखें तो सारे ऑप्शन बहुत ही पास में, राइट? तो अप्रोक्सीमेशन करना उतना इजी नहीं है टास्क। अब इसका सेविंग पॉइंट क्या है, मतलब इस सवाल को ऐसे कैसे बना सकते हैं जिससे हमारा टाइम सेव हो जाता है? तो सबसे पहले मैं क्या करूंगा, मैं 58.33% उठाऊंगा, और मैं सीख चुका हूं कि 33.33% जो होता है एक वैल्यू का, राइट, वो होता है 1/3। सो 1/3 ऑफ ए वैल्यू इज 33.33। तो मैं 1/3 ऑफ 72 ले लूंगा, ठीक है। तो 1/3 ऑफ 72 कितना हो गया, 24। तो इसमें मिल गया मेरे को 33.33। अब 58.33% में अगर मैंने 33.33 निकाल लिया तो मेरे पास बचा 25%। तो मतलब अब मुझे और निकालना है 25%, so I have to take 25% more. So now what is 25% of 72? 25% of 72 is 18. That means if I add these two values, I will get a 58.33%. Thus, if I add these two values, I will get a 58.33% of 72, which is 42. खत्म कहानी। So the point is that एक सवाल बनाने के लिए बहुत ऑप्शंस होते हैं, बहुत मेथड्स होते हैं, ठीक है। ये सारा खेल उनका है जिनको एक से ज्यादा मेथड आते हैं, राइट? जिसको सिर्फ एक या दो मेथड आते हैं वो फंस जाता है, और जिसको एक से ज्यादा मेथड आता है या दो से ज्यादा मेथड आता है सॉल्व करने के लिए, वो ही यहाँ पे उभर के आता है बाहर, ठीक है। सो दैट्स द एंटायर पोर्टफोलियो ऑफ व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट एन एप्टीट्यूड एग्जाम, राइट? एंड व्हाट, so this is what I meant application, this is what I meant decision making, this is what I meant टाइम मैनेजमेंट, ठीक है। सवाल ले लेते हैं, बहुत सिंपल है। यहाँ पे तो कोई ऐसे सवाल एग्जाम्स में आएंगे नहीं, लेकिन ऐसे सवाल आपको ना कैलकुलेशन करते वक्त आ पाएंगे, ठीक है। तो वहां पे हम कैसे सेव करेंगे? सो हाउ डू यू सेव 81 इंटू 73 या 88 इंटू 93? चलो इसके देखते हैं। 81 इंटू 73, अब एक मेथड तो है कि पूरे को मल्टीप्लाई कर लो, खत्म कहानी, राइट? आंसर मिल गया मेरे को, और कुछ करने की जरूरत नहीं है, गुड है। तो ये एक मेथड हो गया। तो हम लोग यूजुअली क्या करते हैं, हम इसमें जाते हैं अप्रोक्सीमेशन के साइड पे, ठीक है। अप्रोक्सीमेशन मतलब कैलकुलेट करने के लिए बहुत तरीके होते हैं, लेकिन हम ये डिसाइड करते हैं कि कौन सा तरीका अपनाया जाए। अब यहाँ पे हम डिसाइड करते हैं अप्रोक्सीमेशन कैसे। हमने मान लिया कि 81 और 73 जो है वो है 80 और 70, और 80 और 70 का मल्टीप्लाई क्या होगा, 5600। तो अगर 81 और 73 उठाया जाए तो दो तीन का कैरी फॉरवर्ड हो जाएगा, राइट? जब 3 मल्टीप्लाई होता है तो कैरी फॉरवर्ड आएगा, राइट? तो 2-3 नंबरों का कैरी फॉरवर्ड हो जाएगा, और 2-3 नंबरों का अगर कैरी फॉरवर्ड 5600 में होगा तो मैक्सिमम जो आंसर आएगा वो आएगा 5913। तो मेरा आंसर यहाँ पे आ गया, राइट? तो मेरे को कैलकुलेट करने की जरूरत नहीं है। चलो देख लेते हैं कि ये आंसर सही है कि नहीं, ठीक है। 3 1 3, 3 8 24 हो गया, 7 1 7, 7 8 56, 3 11 1 9 5। क्या बोला था मैंने, राइट? क्योंकि 3 से मल्टीप्लाई हो रहा है तो 2 का तो कैरी ओवर आएगा ही, वैल्यू आएगा ही आएगा, और मैक्सिमम एक और आ सकता है, तो 2 या 3 का कैरी फॉरवर्ड कैरी ओवर आ सकता है, तो 59 में आके बैठ जाएगा आंसर, ठीक है। अब ये एक हो गया। अब देखते हैं, तो ये तो छोटा सवाल था तो इसमें बन गया। नाउ लेट्स से दैट इफ दिस नंबर इज बिग, राइट, देन डिड यू नो देयर इज अनदर वे ऑफ, तो ऑल्टरनेट वे क्या है? अब मैं आपको बताता हूं ऑल्टरनेट वे। इसे हम बोलते हैं फाइंडिंग द यूनिट डिजिट ऑफ, फाइंडिंग द सिंगल डिजिट ऑफ दिस नंबर, राइट? तो हम क्या करेंगे इसमें, हम करेंगे 8 और 1 को ऐड। 8 + 1 कितना हो गया, 9। 7 और 3 को ऐड। 7 + 3 कितना हो गया, हाउ मच इज 7 + 3, 10। but 10 is a 2-digit number. So we keep adding the digits till we get a single digit number, right? So what is 1 plus 0? 1. So यहाँ पे this side I got 9, this side I got 1. What is the operator being used? Multiply. So 9 into 1, 9. तो मैंने multiplication, I used multiplication only because multiplication is here. अगर यहाँ पे addition होता तो मैं addition लेता, right? अगर यहाँ पे subtraction होता तो मैं subtraction करता. ठीक है, यहाँ पे समझ में आ गया सबको, right? तो अब मैं क्या करूंगा, मैं सारे ये जो आंसर्स हैं इसके यूनिट डिजिट, इसके सम ऑफ द डिजिट्स करूंगा टिल आई गेट ए सिंगल डिजिट नंबर. 6 plus 3 9, 9 plus 3 10, 10 plus 3 14, 1 plus 4 5, 8 plus 9 17, 17 plus 3 20, 20 plus 1 21, 1 plus 2 3, 5 plus 9 14, 14 plus 1 15, 15 plus 3 18, 1 plus 8 9, 6 plus 9 plus 1 is 16, 16 plus 3 is 19, 1 plus 9 is 10, 0 plus 1 is 1. तो इसमें सिंगल डिजिट के 9 आंसर कौन से हैं? सेकंड और थर्ड ऑप्शन, वही हो गया मेरा आंसर. So this is also another way of doing. So guys, there are multiple ways of doing and I have to know all these ways. ठीक है, अब let's look into 88 and 93. अब 88 and 93 को क्या मैं 8 into 9 करके देखूंगा? शायद नहीं देखूंगा. क्यों? बिकॉज ऑल ऑप्शंस जो है बहुत पास में है. यहाँ पे मेरे ऑप्शंस जो थे बहुत दूर दूर थे, इसीलिए मैंने ये अप्रोक्सीमेशन डाला. बट इन दिस केस द ऑप्शंस आर वेरी क्लोज बाय. So what I will do is I will use another method of solving. Now how much is 88 less than 100? 12 less than 100. How much is 93 less than 100? 7 less than 100. Now what is 7 into 12? माइनस के साथ, माइनस 7 into माइनस 12 कितना होता है? 84. अब क्या करो, क्रॉस डायगोनली ऐड करो वैल्यू को, कोई भी डायगोनल. 88 माइनस 7 ऐड करने बोला है तो साइन को तो रखना ही पड़ेगा हाथ में. तो 88 माइनस 7, 88 माइनस 7 कितना हो गया? 81. कोई भी डायगोनल कर लो आप, 93 माइनस 12 करोगे तब भी आपको 81 मिलेगा, राइट? तो इसको डायगोनली आपने सब्ट्रैक्ट किया, क्या मिला? या ऐड किया, क्या मिला? 81. तो 8143 हो गया आपका आंसर, 8184, राइट? सो देयर आर वेरियस. सो आपने इसी स्क्रीन में देख लिया कितने मेथड है करने के. अप्रोक्सीमेशन मेथड हो गया, आपका ओरिजिनल मेथड तो है ही है, ठीक है. अप्रोक्सीमेशन मेथड हो गया, सिंगल डिजिट का हो गया, और रेफरेंस विद 100 का हो गया, राइट? सो देयर आर मल्टीपल वेज ऑफ अप्रोचिंग ए क्वेश्चन. दिस इज व्हाट आई सेड कि वी आर नॉट हियर टू टीच यू एज पर सिलेबस. ठीक है, मटेरियल में बहुत कुछ दिया जाता है और ये 3 सीखने के लिए मुझे शायद 3 मटेरियल जाने पड़ेंगे, लेकिन बट व्हाट वी डू इज वी टीच यू एक्सपीरियंस. व्हाई? बिकॉज गाइस रिमेंबर दिस दैट वी हैव ऑलरेडी डन दिस, राइट? तो हमें मालूम है कि कहाँ पे लोगों को दिक्कतें आएंगी, कहाँ पे चीजें आसान होगी, और क्या करने से फायदा होगा और क्या ना करने से नुकसान होगा, राइट? सो वी हैव एक्सपीरियंस्ड इट एंड वी नो दैट. सो दैट्स व्हाट वी ट्राई टू शेयर विद स्टूडेंट्स, राइट? We are not here to, as said, we are not here to cover the syllabus. तो अगर आपको ऐसे जानकारियां और चाहिए, right? So this is just a glimpse of what we have showed. I mean, just you can say, बोलते हैं ना, tip of the iceberg. So this is just that, right? What you can do next? So we conduct these kinds of sessions regularly for a lot of people who are interested. They may be our own students, they may be external students, they may be outsiders who are doing a self preparation, but we do a lot of such sessions, right? Well, once in a while we do project it in YouTube, but most of them we do it in under Zoom. Yeah, mostly Zoom. So what you can do next, right? This is up to you to decide. You see the 2 numbers on the screen, Mr. Gaurav and Mr. Krishna and Singh. You are requested or invited to connect to any one of them, right? At any point of time, and tell them कि सर मुझे ये सीखना है, राइट? मुझे इस टॉपिक में दिक्कतें आ रही हैं, मुझे इस प्रिपरेशन में दिक्कत आ रही है, मुझे नाटा के प्रिपरेशन में दिक्कत आ रहा है, एनआईडी के प्रिपरेशन में दिक्कत आ रहा है, निफ्ट के प्रिपरेशन में दिक्कत आ रहा है, मेरा ये प्रोफाइल है, मैं कहाँ पे अप्लाई कर सकता हूँ? सो एनीथिंग दैट यू थिंक, right, is a question that you have in your mind. You can connect to these people and they will be able to guide you very well. Now, if you want to know further, कि ठीक है, अब समझ में तो आ गया कि एप्टीट्यूड एग्जाम होता क्या है. अब ये समझ लेते हैं कि एप्टीट्यूड के अंदर आता क्या क्या है, मैं कैसे तैयारी करूं. अगर मैं आज शुरू करूं, राइट, और मैं अगले साल एग्जाम दे रहा हूं, या आज शुरू करूं 6 महीने के बाद एग्जाम दे रहा हूं, सो व्हाट शुड बी माय जर्नी फॉर द नेक्स्ट 6 months? व्हाट शुड आई डू? When I'm preparing for maths, how should I prepare? When I'm preparing for English, how should I prepare? Now, please note that this is not general, right? आपका जो एक्सपीरियंस है, आपका जो नॉलेज है या आपका जो स्ट्रेंथ है, वो किसी और से बहुत अलग होगा। तो अगर मैं ये पूरा बोल दूं कि आप ऐसे करो और वही चीज मैं किसी और को भी बोलूं कि आप ऐसे करो, तो नहीं होने वाला, राइट? तो मुझे आपके साथ बैठ के ये देखना पड़ेगा कि आपको क्या क्या चाहिए, किसी और को किसी और के साथ बैठ के ये देखना पड़ेगा कि उन्हें क्या क्या चाहिए, एंड देन वी विल बी एबल टू कम आउट विद द बेस्ट काइंड ऑफ अ सॉल्यूशन। ओके, सो फॉर दैट, connect to Gaurav or Krishnanand Singh. Ask them if you can get an invitation to attend any kind of an induction, demo class, orientation class, yeah, free sessions, right, which we conduct once in a while. It will be helpful. Download our app, which is called as Ignite India Educational App. You will find that in the Play Store. Download kijiye, right? Register yourself. You have lot of preferences given there. There are a lot of free materials available. There are materials and there are assessment tests, practice tests, which we give almost free of cost. When I say almost, it's like very low cost, right? Very, very low cost. In fact, last year there was these aptitude these practice tests which we gave for ₹1. So so we keep changing this. Obviously, we will not be keep retaining the same amount. We keep changing this. So we have changed it, but it's a very minimal amount that you have. So if you want to practice more, you can opt for that, right? Or if you do not want to spend anything, but just get access to free sessions and free materials, you can still get that from the app. And then we anyway once in a while come in YouTube and give sessions. So this is one kind of a session. I will come again, try to give more sessions on calculation. That's the one you saw, including percentages, including multiplication, including squares and cubes of numbers, right? Including approximation techniques. So those kinds of things I will be coming around. So in case you do not want to miss it out and you want to follow it up, then you can subscribe to the channel, right? And you can click on the notification so that you do not miss out on any of this, right? So I hope, guys, thanks a lot. So to give a background of mine, my name is Anant. I'm the mentor and trainer at Ignite India. I teach students on the aptitude side because that's my strength. I'm a 99.69 percentile scorer in one of the toughest aptitude exam of the country, which is called as Xavier Aptitude Test, or a replica of CAT, which is foreign admission into the IIMs, and the Xavier Aptitude Test is an admission into an XLRI. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the entire knowledge that I possess, right? The same will be done by all the friends of all the team people of Ignite India. And we will be sharing our experiences with you regular basis and motivating and pushing you. It is not just motivating, we'll be also pushing you to ensure that you are reaching out where you should be. हम ये नहीं देखेंगे कि आपने क्या गलत किया और हम ये नहीं बताएंगे कि ये आपकी गलती है, क्योंकि वहां से सुधारा नहीं जाता, राइट? तो हम आपकी गलती नहीं देखेंगे, हम ये देखेंगे कि आपको आगे जाके क्या करना है, राइट? वी आर गोइंग टू सी व्हाट यू शुड डू टू अचीव व्हाट यू वांट रादर देन व्हाट यू हैव डन, right, guys? So thanks a lot. Wonderful talking to you all, and I believe that I hope that you guys like this session. If so, please leave a comment below and we'll be more than happy to connect.